Hi, my name is Paul Chawrun. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for i-80 Gold, and we're putting together an excellent package of assets, including the Lone Tree refurbishment, which has an autoclave facility within it. And I'm very excited to go through the progress that we've had with i-80 in the last 6 months. I think the last time we sat down together was 6 months ago. And there's been a lot of progress since, and we're very excited, and off we go.
Off we go. Paul, good to see you again, sir.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, yeah.
It's quite nice. Look, I think since we met, the big thing that's happened, the kind of catalyst moment, which maybe kind of free you guys up to do exactly what you're good at, which is obviously this financing that happened. It must be quite the relief to you guys.
It's a relief. It's exciting. What I feel really proud of is we have first-rate institutions that have been able to provide us with the confidence to put this together. We went through comprehensive due diligence. We had a competitive process as well. There were a lot of interested parties to be part of this story. And now we're all about execution.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. Because I think the thing that most people can feed back to us is there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of opportunity. And you're chasing a lot of answers. So first things first, I guess Lone Tree was the one that sort of people had concerns about. Is, you know, can you get after that? What needs to be done? How do we get that over the line? Yeah,
well, the first thing I'm going to say is I never really felt that. I never really felt that it was all that complicated a story. It's a relatively sizable story, but we've got the people in place who have done this many times over. Yeah. So we'll start with that, and then specific to the Lone Tree refurbishment facility. So this is a facility, for those that aren't familiar, that has operated before. It was a formerly Newmont project. And it is an autoclave, but it's also refurbishing a plant with known technology. The feasibility study was completed about 2.5 years ago by Hatch, and then an update was completed, and we released those results in November. And so the overall capital cost is $430 million. We're quite confident with that because it's what's called a level 3 engineering study, and in fact the vast majority of it is level 2, and what that means is the amount of detailed engineering that has gone into putting the capital estimate together, the execution plan, and the timing for all the different components, the construction schedule, the construction strategy, and so on and so on. So we're very comfortable with the feasibility study. We did indicate that we had a limited notice to proceed back last August with Hatch. And what that means is that we're basically moving ahead with the building part of the project to get the detailed engineering put together, the execution plan, as I was saying. And so now we've provided Hatch Engineering with a full notice to proceed with board approval, and we're actually moving the execution plan ahead from what we had indicated before. So we're comfortable with putting this together, and we're still looking at the first pour by the end of December of 2027 with a ramp up and commissioning, well, it'll be wet commissioning ahead of that, but a ramp up to production in the first quarter of 28. And we're looking at opportunities to accelerate that.
Right, and the autoclave, just to be clear, help people who perhaps are not so familiar with the phrase or the facility, is what precisely is it going to do for you?
So the reason why you need an autoclave, and it's very common in Nevada, is the gold is occluded in a pyrite or an arsenopyrite. In our case, it's mostly arsenopyrite. And so fundamentally, you need some pressure and you need some oxygen, pressure oxidation leach, to be able to remove that part of the mineral away and have the gold free. And then it's a standard process called a carbon-in-leach CIL process afterwards. So we have a number of people on the team who have operated the autoclaves for NGM in the area, for the other facilities in the area, and also a couple who've operated this autoclave. And our ore currently is going through an autoclave through our third-party partner, and so we know this stuff works, and it's well-known technology in Nevada.
Right, okay. And what else does the money do for you? Because obviously it was a big chunk of change. People were thinking, well, they ain't going to put that together anytime soon, but they have, and you're the recipient of it.
Yes.
So what's it do for your team?
So this is what launches i-80 into the next level.
Right.
So we did the equity raise last year. we raised this amount of capital. And what this does for us is, first of all, to be able to put this project together. It allows us to be able to do a lot of drilling, both at Ruby Underground and as well the Mineral Point project on the open pit side. And that was something that Franco-Nevada was very excited about as well. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why they were very excited to be our partner in developing this story. So we have in the range of $80 million for drilling alone this year, large projects, both the open pit underground at Ruby, and we're very excited at Granite as well. Yeah. So we finished that campaign just recently. It's delayed the feasibility results a little bit, but that's primarily because we kept finding ore, we kept finding the ore body, and we needed to find a time to stop. And we're also spending approximately $10 million on that this year.
Okay.
So that adds up to $80 million, and then of course the technical work on the feasibility studies and permitting. Right,
it's an important point you raised there with the feasibility coming. The drilling, not all drilling is equal. So what type of drilling are you doing? What's that doing in terms of bringing in additional reserves and resource?
Yeah, so when I go through around the horn here on these different assets.
Yeah. We'll try and start.
It's a combination of infill to get to measure and indicated status, so then you can put together a feasibility study and define reserves. So we've already done that at Granite and at Cove, and so those feasibility studies with reserve statements will be in the second quarter of this year. The additional amount is for infill drilling primarily in the underground at Ruby. We call that Ruby Deeps or Archimedes. And as well, infill drilling over at Mineral Point. And just to state some round numbers, Mineral Point is 3 million ounces measured indicated already, and about 2 million ounces inferred. So we're going to be looking to convert all of that to measured and indicated to eventually get to a pre-feasibility study in the early part of 2027. And then as well, exploring targets to define new resources. And so that's happening at Granite, that's happening at Ruby, and as well at Mineral Point as well. So it's a combo of, when you have an $80 million program, you're doing pretty much the full spectrum.
Yeah, okay, so 5 million ounces in the M&I category. Wow.
3 million M&I,
plus
2 million inferred,
which you want to bring
and
in.
we cannot add the two.
You cannot?
We cannot. So
sorry,
yes, so we need to keep those separate. But the goal is to have a large resource base, roughly three and three, to convert into the full amount. And I'm being careful not to mention the adding of the two numbers together.
Right, okay, so I was glad you clarified. Thank you for that. Now, the name of the game is obviously get into revenue. It's a very positive market for those, because you're producing cash with ever increasing margins. Can you give the folks listening to this a sort of sense of the timing of the different phases on the current schedule?
So in terms of production, we'll have the Lone Tree plant producing gold by the end of 2027, with a bit of a ramp up in 2028, and in the range of about 150,000, depending on the grade, to maybe 160,000 ounces per year, at good margins. So if you take a look at the gold price now, I think we estimated somewhere around 150 to 200 million net cash flow per year once it operates at somewhere in the range of $3,000 gold. And if you take a look at the numbers now, of course, it's much higher than that. So that's just the first launch pad. Then the second part is, and we're evaluating the optimization of this, but to look at the Granite Creek open pit and to take a look at the Mineral Point open pit. And both of those need a full EIS permitting process and as well feasibility. So they're 3 to 4 years out. And the numbers for that, which we released in the PEAs about a year ago, is in the range of about 250 to 300,000 ounces per year on a Mineral Point. We'll look at optimizing those numbers. And when I say optimized, potentially could be bigger, but I want to be careful with that. At very good margins, something like $1,500 per ounce. And then if you take the difference, it's very lucrative. Yeah. And then Granite Creek is similarly large. Right. And I'm sorry, we have so many assets, I just got to keep going.
No, just thinking, but don't forget there's a sort of time check on the second and third one.
There is. So I believe we've estimated 2029 for the initiation of construction for Mineral Point, with 2032 for gold production. We are this is part of what this capital raise provides for us, is to do the drilling, get that done sooner. And it hasn't happened yet because it takes a little bit of time, but to start the EIS process sooner. And then that would allow us to accelerate the timeline for Mineral Point by anywhere from 1 to 2 years. We do need to be realistic on the timelines. So, so that would put the production in the range of, you know, if you do the math, 400,000 to 500,000 ounces per year. If you add those all
and
up.
the final number we're chasing is what, about 600,000?
500,000 to 600,000 ounces,
Right.
and it varies year to year. It varies based on grade and recovery, and we're evaluating ways to optimize this all the time.
Right. So assuming nothing else happens within the organization, it puts you at very much a mid-tier.
Very much a mid-tier
Yeah.
producer. The largest hurdle was for us to raise this capital.
Okay.
The technical work is ongoing, has been ongoing.
Yeah.
We have the team. I've been with the i-80 since May. I'm very comfortable with us executing this.
Not a bad place to be in this market, is it?
Not a bad place to be, and the company has come a very long way in a short amount of time.
It has, and timing is everything, and I think you've timed it very well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time today. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, well, I'm thrilled.